Gusto to. Wala, kanta mo sa akin yan eh. Bibi, okay, so I think you can see my screen, right, Tim? I think you're muted, Tim. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay,
Can you
wonderful.
hear me
And
now?
yeah, just let me know once we're all good to start, okay?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. Yeah, so I don't know if it's from my end. Can you hear
Yeah.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, okay. Seem to be lagging a bit.
Okay, just let me know once we're all good to start, okay?
Yeah, so we're ready. Are you ready? Can we kick off?
Yeah, Mr. Tim, I'm all good.
Awesome. Yeah, okay. So I want to use this time out now to welcome everyone to this awesome AMA. Of course, today we're going to be talking about Cyprus finance. I believe here at the Binance Live, we already have an awesome audience, currently anticipating, what we actually have to talk about as regards to Cyprus finance. And I would like you guys, to take your eyes off the screen now and go quickly to Crypto Power's Telegram community where you would find the announcement, pinned. You can check out the website. You can also, join them on Telegram. Make sure to go through all the nitty-gritties and all the details there is to know about Cyprus finance. Of course, we are very privileged to have our guest in the room, Caitlin, who is going to be standing as a representative, to the project and also giving us a very good insight into Cyprus finance. You're welcome, and we are really happy to have you here, Caitlin. Can you say hi to the community?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for the warm welcome, Mr. Team. Hello, everyone. Hello, Crypto Power community. Hello to everyone tuning in right now in the Binance Square. So, I'm Caitlin, guys. I will be the representative on behalf of the team of Cyrus Finance, and today I'm gonna be doing my best to introduce to everyone what Cyrus Finance is, what they're headed to, and of course their long-term plans into the future as well. So I'm very excited to be here once again, speaking with you guys, this awesome community, and thank you so much for the invitation. And I'm very ready for your questions. So let's get it on, Tim.
All right, thank you so much for that very warm introduction. We're really happy to have you here. The pleasure is ours. So let's go quickly now with the first question, which actually sparks up, the start of the AMA. So we want to know, as a community, what Cyprus Finance, is all about. What is Cyprus Finance, in simple terms?
Yes, for sure. So I think it's a very great starting point. So to give everyone an idea on what Cyrus Finance is all about. So Cyrus Finance is a decentralized yield optimization protocol that is built on top of Pancake Swap liquidity infrastructure. So that is basically what is it in simple terms. But to further dig deeper regarding this, in introducing what Cyrus Finance is, as we know, guys, today earning yield in DeFi, it often requires the technical knowledge, right? You need to choose pools, you need to set the price ranges, you need to rebalance your positions, and you need to constantly monitor the market. So you really need, the technical knowledge. You need to be hands on. And basically, this complexity really creates friction and it increases the likelihood of mistakes. So, that main problem that we pinpoint, that is exactly the barrier that Cyrus Finance is removing. So, instead of users managing liquidity manually, the protocol handles the allocation, the optimization, and even the reinvestment automatically through smart contracts. So, in short, Cyrus Finance it basically transforms advanced liquidity management into a structured and accessible yield product. So, that is basically what it's doing. So, I hope that was that's basically Cyrus in a nutshell. Just a quick introduction for everyone.
All right, thank you so much, Caitlin. That was absolutely amazing. So I think the community would like to get involved now, in Cyprus Finance. So how does a user interact with Cyrus?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Hold on. Okay, so basically the experience here in Cyrus Finance is intentionally minimal, meaning that everything is simplified, everything is streamlined. So basically, what a user needs to do, it basically they need to connect a Web3 wallet. Then they need to deposit USDT, select a preferred strategy, and then the system takes over from there. So it's like basically three steps, and then everything will be done automatically. So here in Cyrus, guys, there is no KYC, no account registration, no custodial risk at all because the funds they remain governed by the smart contracts, and all of the actions, of course, to be done are executed on chain. So from that point on, once you have selected your strategy, right? Once the strategy was selected, the protocol would automatically deploy capital across multiple liquidity pools. It would manage concentrated ranges, it would compound fees, and then it would optimize the exposure. So basically, the users, right? Being you as the user, you basically since everything is done automatically, the only thing left for you to do is you can monitor everything. And when I say monitor everything, you can monitor everything transparently, and you can also withdraw according to the strategy conditions without needing the manual rebalancing or the market timing. You don't need to mind any of those because everything is done automatically, and that is exactly how a user interacts with Cyrus.
All right, thank you so much, Caitlin. That was absolutely amazing. You talked about yield, from the start, while you were making the contribution. We want to know now, how does the yield, where does the yield come from, and is it sustainable?
Yes, wonderful. That's a very good question. And yes, actually, like I've mentioned, right, Cyrus is generating yield from real trading activity on PancakeSwap. Now, what is the correlation on behalf of that? So let me just okay, I think I have a slide here regarding this. No.
Okay,
Okay,
that would be
one.
awesome.
Okay. So, okay, let's just go over here. So, basically, guys, since Cyrus is generating yield from the real trading activity that is executed on PancakeSwap, what it does, the main process of it, it's actually very simple. I'm gonna explain the key principle, okay? So, firstly, the PancakeSwap AMMM, version 3, it uses a concentrated liquidity model where the liquidity is actually placed within specific price ranges instead of being distributed across the entire price curve. So, the key principle here is very simple, okay? The narrower the price range is, the higher the capital efficiency. So that means when liquidity is placed in a tighter range around the current price, it basically earns a larger share of the trading fees relative to the capital deployed. So this can significantly increase the returns compared to the wider ranges. Now, of course, during the periods of strong market volatility and the high trading volume, certain pools can temporarily reach extremely high APR levels. Sometimes it can even exceed 800% annualized because, basically fee generation accelerates with the increased swap activity. And at the same time, when trading volume decreases or market activity slows, the fee generation would, of course, it would naturally decline. That is exactly why Cyrus is allocating capital across multiple pools across multiple ranges in order to capture trading fees efficiently under varying market conditions. So there is basically no inflationary emissions, there is no artificial incentives, or basically there is no such thing as um temporary farming mechanics of some sort, some things like that. Nothing of those, okay? Because once again, like I've mentioned, the yield, it comes purely from real on-chain trading volume. So basically, to wrap it all up, Cyrus is not inventing yield, okay? It basically optimizes how concentrated liquidity in AMMv3 is positioned to maximize the fee capture during the active market condition. So that is basically how it works and how sustainable it actually is, despite whatever market condition it is, whether it's low trading volume or high trading volume.
All right, thank you so much, Caitlin, for that very awesome insight. You've been amazing because you talked about during those periods of strong market volatility and high trading volume. You talked about the fact that certain pools can temporarily reach a high APR level. And something important I would like to highlight, which you also mentioned, is the fact that you say because the fee generation accelerates, with increased swap activity. So this sort of brings me down to this question: why not just provide liquidity directly on PancakeSwap?
Yes, Tim, that's a very good question, to be honest. And of course, we totally get this question a lot. So, guys, first and foremost, providing liquidity directly, it requires several critical conditions. You need pool selection, price range configuration, rebalancing timing, and of course, the capital allocation. So, technically, these variables, they significantly impact the performance. Basically, from this, Cyrus is abstracting this complexity. Here in Cyrus, the users, they do not need to choose the ranges, they don't need to monitor charts or manually adjust their positions. Instead, of course, since everything is rehandled by the protocol, the smart contracts, they basically distribute capital across diversified liquidity ranges using mathematical modeling and historical performance analysis. So, of course, since everything is like automated, the smart contracts are in charge. The result is a professional grade liquidity management without requiring the professional level effort from coming from the user.
Yeah, so that's quite understandable. Thank you so much for that. Um, Something else I would like to highlight. Meanwhile, before we do that, guys, I would like you to join Cyrus Finance. Join them on Telegram, and please make sure to follow them on Twitter. We're doing our best now to ensure, to answer some very important questions that the community may find very interesting. So back to you, Caitlin. How does Cyrus offer structured daily returns, if DeFi yields kind of fluctuate?
That's a very good question because we know that DeFi yields are naturally volatile, right? Pool APRs, they change based on the trading volume, volatility, and liquidity depth. So, Cyrus is addressing this by combining multiple liquidity positions with different behaviors and risk profiles. So, having this diversification, it smooths out the short term volatility. Actually, the protocol itself, the protocol models it basically models the long-term pool performance, and it structures the strategy outcomes around aggregated historical data. So instead of exposing our users to the daily APR swings, the volatility, Cyrus is converting the variable fee income into structured strategy returns. So, here in Cyrus, guys, it's not about eliminating volatility, but it's about managing and balancing it intelligently and sustainably.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense because when we talk about the structure, I'm definitely going to be talking. I think I have a follow up question as regards to that, but I think with what you've said so far, it's really, really understandable, especially you mentioning the fact that DeFi yields are naturally volatile. So it's a good way to come into, answering that question. But here's a follow up question now. How, still talking about the incentives, we want to know as a community how the incentives align between users and also the protocols.
Yes, it's a very good question. Thank you, Tim, for that. So, Cyrus is basically operating on a performance based model. Okay, there are no deposit fees, no fixed participation charges. Okay, remember, guys, the protocol only earns when users generate profit. And of course, how is that executed? There is a commission that is applied solely on realized gains upon withdrawal. So that means if you're a user, if you don't have any earnings, if you did not realize any profit at all, the protocol does not earn. As simple as that. So, this structure is really aligning the incentives around sustainable long-term performance rather than the short-term growth metrics or, the artificial hype. So, that is basically how aligned the incentives are between the users and the protocol.
That's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for that. Yeah. So, yeah, of course, guys, you heard our guests. The structure kind of aligns, with the incentives and all that. Of course, the recap of this AMA is definitely going to be pinned in the community. So I'd like you guys, to check that out. Over to you, Caitlin, once again. I would like us to talk about, the statistics on the Cyrus homepage. I believe you're there. So I think it's a good time to tell us what it actually means.
Yeah, for sure, Tim. Let me check if I can share the screen with you guys. Give me one moment. Um, so you can actually see the statistics, okay? Just give me one moment, guys. But yes, for sure, guys. To anybody of you who have seen the website of Cyrus, you may have actually seen the statistics as well. But
Of course,
you
yeah.
know, basically, guys, this is the statistics that was displayed on the homepage. It is designed to provide transparency into how capital is positioned inside the protocol at any given moment. Okay, they basically help the users to understand not just how much liquidity is deployed, but also how that liquidity is balanced between stable and volatile assets. So let me share my screen. Let me just share another to you guys. Okay, so this is basically what I was talking to you guys about. This is the statistics that you can be that can be seen on the Cyrus homepage. When you visit the website, guys, this is exactly what it would look like, and you may be wondering what are those numbers. So, let us start with the market size. So, the market size represents the total capital that is currently deployed across all active liquidity pools. Okay, when I say all active liquidity pools, this includes both the USDT and the paired crypto assets such as ETH, Dodge, and Cake. Okay? So, in simple terms, this is the full working capital of the protocol, the amount of liquidity that is actively generating trading fees on PancakeSwap. And we know that a growing market size can typically reflect increased user participation and even higher overall capital efficiency. And as you can see, though, that's a very good looking number that we're showing in there. And I think it really shows how much value is actively engaged in yield generation rather than, sitting idle. So that is basically what the market size is. Now moving ahead to the paired asset value, which is around here. So the paired asset value shows the combined value of the crypto assets, the ETH, Dodge, and Cake currently allocated within the liquidity pools. So this metric basically reflects the protocol's exposure to market volatility. So whenever the paired asset value is higher, it means a larger portion of capital is positioned in crypto assets. So this can basically increase fee generation potential during strong trading activity, but it also implies greater sensitivity to price fluctuations. And when this value decreases, okay, it indicates that the protocol has shifted towards a more conservative allocation, reducing exposure to volatile assets and increasing stability. So basically, this dynamic adjustment is it's basically part of how Cyrus is balancing the risk and opportunity across changing market conditions. And lastly, we've got the total liquidity over here. So the total liquidity, this number represents the amount of USDT currently held within the pools. Guys, USDT, it acts as the stabilizing component of the liquidity structure. So that means that a higher USDT balance, it generally signals a more defensive positioning, meaning a larger share of capital is allocated towards stability rather than volatility. And when there is a lower, on the other hand, when there is a lower USDT balance, it suggests that more capital is allocated towards crypto assets, potentially increasing the exposure, but also enabling the greater fee capture in the active market. So this is basically the, the what these numbers actually mean on the homepage.
Thank you so much, Caitlin, for handling that question. Especially talking about how the liquidity is balanced between stable and volatile assets. Also covering the market size, peer asset value. I believe you also talked about the total liquidity, which we have pretty much just exhausted. So thank you so much for that. I discovered that Cyrus Finance recently added, the Cake USDT pool, the Cake and also the USDT pool right now on the website. You can find that details. But, what pools are planned next and why is, expansion important to you guys?
Thank you for pointing that out, team. So, to explain this, guys, I want everyone to take note that Cyrus is carefully selecting liquidity pools based on strict criteria. So, before adding any new pair, the team is evaluating several things. They're evaluating the asset reliability and ecosystem strength. They're also evaluating the consistent trading volume, the active swap flow inside the pool, and the deep and stable liquidity. Okay, those are the things that they're evaluating. So, our goal here at Cyrus is not to add pools for quantity, but to add pools that generate sustainable trading fees. So, basically, we are adding new pools. We actually acknowledge that adding new pools are very essential for diversification because different assets can behave differently under various market conditions. So we're seeing that when one pair generates lower fees due to the reduced activity, another pair may experience higher trading volume. And when one asset shows moderate price movement, another may significantly be more volatile, increasing the fee generation potential once again. So technically, this cross asset dynamic it helps to smooth the overall performance. So the core principle here is very simple. Capital should not depend on a single pair. The more high quality pools integrated into the system, the more balanced and resilient the yield structure becomes. So, of course, as part of this, right now that we have recently added the KQSDT pool, Cyrus will continue expanding its pool lineup gradually, okay? We're going to be focusing on strategic diversification and long term capital efficiency rather than the rapid, uncontrolled growth. So, congratulations to Cyrus for that. But yes, guys, you can definitely expect so many more coming up.
Thank you so much, of course. Yeah. The congratulations goes to you too, Caitlin, since you're basically a representative of the project. So congratulations to you guys. So moving forward now, we will talk about the geographic distribution of Cyrus users. What is that about? Can you take us on a ride into those details?
Yeah, for sure. Actually, we achieved pretty much a lot. So, okay. So, basically, guys, let's just have a quick recap, okay? In the first month after launch, what we have managed to achieve. First and foremost, Cyrus
Can
started
you hear
in a
me?
test mode. Yes, Sam, I can hear you. Cyrus started
Yeah.
in a test mode at the end of December 2025, carefully checking all modules and testing the protocol under the real market conditions. So, this preparation allowed the team to ensure stability, efficiency, and also security before the official expansion on February 1st, 2026. So, in just the first month, guys, of active operation, the results have been very encouraging. So, first thing, guys, Cyrus is currently managing three liquidity pools: the Dodge USDT, ETH USDT, and the newly added Cake USDT. Aside from this, the total value of assets deployed in the protocol has already surpassed $7 million, and it continues to grow daily, demonstrating, of course, the increasing trust and confidence we're getting from the users. Aside from this, users have opened over 10,000 positions, actively engaging with the strategies and, of course, benefiting from the automated yield optimization. And aside from that, guys, the number of unique users interacting with the applications has exceeded 70,000. Okay? 70,000, guys, in just 1 month. That is a strong sign of community interest and adoption. So, all of these achievements, guys, in a span of 1 month, these early achievements are just the beginning. The team is actually seeing this as a foundation for continued growth, expanding the pool lineup, improving strategies, and reaching new international markets. So, of course, the focus remains on the sustainable, real yield generation and providing a simple, transparent, and reliable DeFi experience for everyone. So much has happened. Once again, congratulations to the team for all of this various milestones in just 1 month. And there's so much more, guys, coming up soon. So stay tuned in our socials.
Thank you so much. Those are delightful results. Worth reflecting on, talking about what Cyrus has achieved, within its first month after the launch. Now, let's talk about the geographic distribution of Cyrus users. Can you take us on a ride and tell us what that is all about?
Yeah, for sure, 100%. So for this, let me share another thing. I need to present something else just to give everybody, a visual. Okay, give me one moment. Okay, so I think you guys are able to see it anyway. So basically, guys, Cyrus is a fully decentralized protocol. So technically, anyone with internet across the world, everyone with internet access can participate. But based on current usage, guys, the geographic distributions of the users is approximately, please, guys, refer to your screen. Once again, this is all statistics. On USA or United States of America, 16% of the users from that. On Spain, 11%. Colombia, 9%. Venezuela, 8%. On Brazil, 8% as well. Portugal, 6%. Germany, 6%. On Cuba, 5%. Netherlands, Ukraine, Russia, 5% as well. On Mexico, 4%. On Peru, 3%, and any other countries is 5%. So basically, this distribution is showing that Cyrus has already attracted a diverse international audience, and this is reflecting broad interest in DeFi solutions across multiple continents. So this is basically the geographical distribution.
Thank you so much. So I believe it's definitely going to keep growing, as time goes on, thanks to the marketing team. Let's look at your development plan now because I think the Cyrus Finance actually have some plans, for the future, your milestones, what you guys have achieved so far, basically talking about, your development plans, starting from this very year. The year is still very young, so let's get to know what your development plans are, for Cyrus Finance.
Yeah, for sure, Tim. So let me present to everyone the roadmap of Cyrus Finance. So, Cyrus Finance, guys, we have a structured roadmap from 2026 to 2030, and this roadmap is all focused on utility, gamification, tokenization, and global DeFi infrastructure. So let's start with 2026, okay? 2026 is focusing on utility and market expansion, meaning that we're aimed to launch a game, NFT game launch. Basically, it's an NFT based P2E, play to earn strategy game with yield linked NFT cards. One moment. Alright, sorry for that. Aside from the game, the P2 play to earn game, there will be an NFT positions marketplace wherein you can trade LP NFTs, you can fractionalize positions, and you can even get advanced analytics. And as part of the 2026 as well, we're also aiming for multi chain support and optimized vault strategies. Now, moving ahead, we have the 2027, which is basically set for next year. So, 2027 will be focused on tokenization and governance. On this phase, the CYS token launch will the CYS token will be launched with deflationary mechanics and staking. There will be governance module and token generation event as well upon 2027. There will be CX listings, lending integrations, LP NFTs as collateral, and even a DAO. Okay, we'll be launching a DAO, decentralized autonomous organization, as part of our governance layer. Now, moving forward to 2028, this will be the advanced DeFi and derivatives, meaning that we're aiming to have a perpetual DEX, structured yield vaults, volatility strategies. We're also aiming for prediction markets, cross-chain liquidity routing, and even having and integrating institutional APIs. Now, furthermore to 2029, this will be the financial infrastructure expansion. So, upon this phase, guys, we're aiming for a native lending protocol, LP NFT collateralization, the stable asset that we're going to be having, it will be called CUSD. And also, we'll be focusing on delta neutral yield frameworks. And of course, we're aiming for institutional liquidity partnerships upon this point as well. Now, on to the last point of our crafted roadmap, which is 2030. So, upon 2030, guys, this will be what we're calling the layer of Cyrus chain and global infrastructure. So, that means we'll be having a proprietary Cyrus chain for high frequency trading and DeFi primitives on 2030 as well will be the mainnet launch with the perpetual DEX, native lending, cross-chain bridges, full DAO treasury migration, and even the multi-billion TVL target. So, in short, guys, right, in this roadmap that I presented to every one of you, Cyrus is evolving from NFT games in multi-chain DeFi in 2026 to tokenization towards advanced DeFi products and finally its own high performance blockchain by 2030. So that is the plan for the next 4 to 5 years.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, Caitlin, for that. We have, talked about a lot, some very exclusive overview. We have the presentation right here on, on display for everyone, to see. And we have our amazing guest who is a representative of the project here to basically talk about all the important highlights, of Cyrus Finance. So thank you so much, Caitlin, for talking about the plans that you guys have for Cyrus Finance right from 2026 down to 2030. So I believe we'll be looking forward to that as you guys work on the profile for the year 2026, which is a lot actually, because you talked about the launching of the games, NFT position marketing, and also multi-chain support and optimized vault strategies. So I really want to say thank you so much, for coming up, to educate our community about Cyrus Finance. But I have one more question for you before we wrap up, and then you basically talk about some, highlights that we haven't really covered within the start of the AMA to the end. So, what are the risks of using Cyrus Finance?
Okay, I think it's a good question to end on. So, in general, guys, the risks of interacting with Cyrus are minimal, of course, thanks to the way the protocol is designed and the high level of security that is built into every layer of the protocol. Cyrus is using fully audited and immutable smart contracts, which have been carefully verified by CertSec over a period of more than 4 months. Let me show you guys the security side of things here. Okay, so once again, it is carefully verified by CertSec. Okay, and the audit is lasted for a period of more than 4 months. Then, once deployed, these contracts cannot be changed, ensuring, of course, that the user funds are managed exactly as intended. On top of that, all operations are executed on chain without any intermediaries, so there is no risk of human error or manual interference. Aside from this, like I've mentioned from the beginning, all liquidity is provided through established PancakeSwap V3 pools, which are some of the most reliable and tested pools in DeFi. So this further minimizes the risk that is associated with the protocol itself, since it does not rely on experimental or untested smart contracts. Of course, one thing that I can say, the only risk that remains is impermanent loss, which is it is actually an inherent feature of AMM V3 liquidity pools. Essentially, that means that when the price of an asset moves sharply relative to its paired asset, the total value of the position measured in USDT can temporarily decrease. So this is actually not unique to Cyrus, guys. It's a standard characteristic of automated market makers. However, of course, on the brighter side of things, Cyrus is designed to actively mitigate the impermanent loss. So the protocol actually does this in several ways. Firstly, the asset selection. Like I've mentioned before, only reliable, high quality crypto assets are included in the pools. So this basically reduces the likelihood of extreme price swings and sudden volatility. Aside from this, we're also, doing and focusing diversification. That means the user funds are spread across multiple pools and price ranges, which balances the exposure and it prevents any single asset from dominating the risk profile. And lastly, the fee accumulation, wherein the trading fees generated by the pools, they naturally offset the impermanent loss over time. And basically, this often compensates for the short-term dips in value. So, guys, taken together, these mechanisms mean that Cyrus users can participate in DeFi yield generation with confidence. While, of course, I'm going to admit, guys, no investment is ever completely risk free. While, of course, considering that there will always be inherent risks, the combination of secure, audited contracts, trusted liquidity pools, the careful asset selection, and the diversification, it ensures that Exposure to risk is as low as possible, of course, while still providing a stable and predictable yield experience. So, in short, Cyrus prioritizes safety, transparency, and reliability, making this protocol accessible to both newcomers and even the experienced DeFi users who want to earn yield, without the unnecessary worry. So, of course, still everyone do your own research accordingly.
Yeah, exactly, guys. Do your own research. Of course, all the questions we asking virtually came, from research and also from, the website. So everything has been absolutely explained, by our guests. I really want to say thank you, guys, for coming up, for joining us, and also talking about Cyrus Finance, to its the best of your knowledge. Of course, I would like you guys, sitting over at Binance Live to engage. Join the Telegram community and ask your questions just in case we are not able to cover your questions. Of course, plenty opportunities for you guys because they have moderators who can attend to your questions immediately. So I'm going to be sending the shout out to you, Caitlin, for taking your time outside of your tight schedules, to deliver all the brilliant answers, from the questions that I've asked so far, and also questions that may have came, as from the curiosity of the finders, from the researchers, of the website. Of course, we had the website on display, of course, currently still on display to ensure transparency and also to make sure that everything which was asked was perfectly answered. So thank you so much, Caitlin, for that. Of course, do you have anything to add before we wrap up?
Well, actually, I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you so much, Tim, for your great moderation, for your amazing questions, and thank you to everyone, the Crypto Power community, for tuning in. I hope I managed to, of course, give everybody an idea on what Cyrus Finance is building and what's in it for you. So, once again, guys, everything is as easy as 3 steps in Cyrus. You just need to connect your wallet, deposit, choose a strategy, and create your own yield stream. Everything is automatic from there. So, guys, remember always do your own research. You can visit actually the official website of Cyrus Finance. You can view their documentations for those people who will be doing their own research. Aside from this, I highly invite everybody to please follow all of the social links of Cyrus Finance so you can be updated on all of the milestones that we're about to hit, guys, as we go along this journey. So, thank you, everyone. We know that the DeFi space can be extremely scary at sometimes, but I hope you guys can be one of us in this new DeFi protocol. And I think Cyrus Finance is really reinventing DeFi. So, thank you so much, everybody. And I think I'll meet you on the official Cyrus Finance Telegram community if you have any questions. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Caitlin. And of course, we'll be seeing you there. And a big shout out to Crypto Power, who is the current host of this space. Of course, everything you need, including the link, is currently available in the Telegram community. So until we meet again in the next AMA, I wish you guys the best of luck for your project. And to every listener, I also wish you guys success for the remaining, months of the year. Happy new month, guys, and have a very good day. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye. Have a great Sunday, you all. Bye.